The body never lies. It is a biological recorder of every secret, every touch, and every betrayal. While words can be crafted into elaborate shields, the physical self remains anchored to the truth. When a woman chooses to step outside the boundaries of a relationship, she returns home carrying a heavy, invisible residue. You might want to believe the excuses, but your primal instinct, that cold shiver down your spine, is picking up on the glitches in her matrix. This is not about paranoia, it is about pattern recognition. We are diving deep into the physiological echoes of infidelity, analyzing the data points that reveal a crumbling foundation. To protect your sanity, you must learn to look past the smile and decode the silent alarms. Are you truly seeing her, or are you just seeing the version of her she wants you to believe? Let us strip away the emotional fog and confront the cold, hard reality of biological evidence.
When she comes home, pay close attention to the first thing she does. In the past, maybe it was a kiss, or she would drop her bags and sit next to you on the couch. But now, it is a race to the master bathroom. This is the calculated retreat, often disguised as feeling sticky after a long day or simply being exhausted. Her movements are efficient and urgent. The standard intimacy of a greeting is avoided because any closeness could reveal a trace she did not account for. But what is she actually trying to wash away? The shower becomes a sanctuary for resetting her physical baseline and erasing the evidence. It is a biological cleansing. She needs to remove the external sense, the other person's DNA, and the scent of a different environment before you have a chance to even ask about her day. This behavior is less about cleanliness and more about a desperate need to reset the narrative before stepping into the room with you. Notice if the temperature of the water is scalding, a subconscious attempt to scrub away not just physical evidence, but perhaps the heavy internal weight of guilt. She needs the noise of the water to drown out her anxiety. The closing of that bathroom door is a symbolic barrier, a sign that she is managing a secret reality before she can pretend everything is normal with you.
The second silent alarm is the olfactory shift, a complex chemical signature that your primal brain detects long before your conscious mind can process it. Every person has a unique biological thumbprint made of natural pheromones and familiar habits. But when a woman is being unfaithful, that signature becomes corrupted by external elements. You might notice a sharp synthetic contrast, perhaps a heavy layer of expensive perfume she never used to wear, or the lingering scent of a foreign environment, like a hotel lobby or a car interior. Sometimes it is the faint metallic tang of a masculine scent, or even biological fluids that she has failed to fully scrub away. To counter this, she employs a tactical defense mechanism known as scent masking. She might suddenly develop an obsession with strong-smelling hand sanitizers, flavored chewing gum, or herbal mints to create an artificial barrier between her breath and your curiosity. When you question a strange aroma, notice the quick deflection. She might blame a specific meal, such as seafood or spicy ethnic food, to provide a logical cover for an illogical scent. This is not just a change in perfume, it is a calculated attempt to manipulate your sensory perception and rewrite the biological truth of her recent whereabouts. The third indicator is a profound, unexplained physical exhaustion that defies the logic of her daily routine. Picture this: her professional life involves a standard office setting, yet she returns home looking as though she has just completed a grueling physical marathon. This is not the typical mental drain from spreadsheets or meetings. It is a deep, systemic fatigue that manifests in heavy limbs and a vacant stare. When a woman is leading a double life, the physical toll of extracurricular intimacy is immense, burning through her caloric reserves and leaving her depleted. You might notice her complaining about strange muscle aches or soreness in her legs that simply does not align with a sedentary workday. This exhaustion serves a dual purpose. It is a biological reality and a convenient psychological shield. By collapsing into bed or claiming an immediate need for sleep, she effectively shuts down the window for any meaningful conversation. Sleep becomes a tactical retreat, a way to avoid your gaze and prevent any accidental slips of the tongue that might occur during a relaxed evening.
If the woman you know as energetic and vibrant suddenly becomes a ghost of herself every evening without a clear medical or professional cause, you are likely witnessing the physical aftermath of a hidden life. This silent fatigue is the body's way of saying it has nothing left to give to you because it was all spent elsewhere.
The fourth sign involves a glaring logical inconsistency in her grooming habits: wet hair at a time that simply does not align with her daily schedule. Hair is a highly porous biological sponge. It traps and holds on to external scents like tobacco smoke, heavy colognes, or the specific atmosphere of a private room for hours. When a woman returns home with damp hair outside of her usual morning routine, it is rarely about sudden hygiene and almost always about a frantic attempt to sanitize the crime scene. You might hear the classic excuse that she just finished a session at the gym, but as a modern observer, you must look for the supporting data. Is there a gym bag with sweaty clothes? Are her sneakers actually worn out from a workout, or are they bone dry and neatly tucked away? If she claims to have showered at the facility but lacks the physical evidence of a workout, the math does not add up. This is a tactical maneuver to strip away any trace of a stranger's touch before she has to sit across from you at the dinner table. By washing her hair, she is effectively rebooting her physical identity, hoping that the scent of her standard shampoo will act as a psychological reset button. Pay attention to the frequency of these midday or late evening showers, especially when they occur immediately after an unexplained gap in her timeline. It is not just water, it is a desperate effort to wash away the undeniable truth of another man's presence. The fifth sign is a sudden, primal surge in appetite that seems entirely disconnected from her reported schedule. You might witness a fascinating biological paradox. She claims to have just returned from a social dinner with girlfriends or a catered business event, yet the moment she steps through the front door, she heads straight for the refrigerator with a sense of urgent desperation. She is not just snacking, she is refueling. This ravenous hunger is a direct physiological response to intense physical exertion that she cannot openly acknowledge. High-intensity intimacy burns a significant amount of calories and causes a sharp drop in blood glucose levels, triggering a survival mechanism in the brain that demands immediate energy replacement. As she stands in the kitchen, eating in hurried silence, notice her demeanor. There is often a distant, glazed look in her eyes as she avoids eye contact. She is likely mentally exhausted from the cognitive load of maintaining a complex lie, and her body is simply taking over to repair the physical deficit. This sudden need for carbohydrates or heavy proteins is a loud broadcast from her metabolism, signaling that her body has been pushed to its limits elsewhere. While she might try to laugh it off as having a high metabolism or a bad meal at the restaurant, the sheer intensity of her hunger tells a much more truthful story of what transpired during those missing hours. The sixth sign is a profound shift in her communication architecture, moving from a person who shared every mundane detail of her day to someone who operates behind a wall of calculated silence. This is the tactical use of ambiguity as a protective shield. When you ask a simple, open-ended question about her afternoon, the response is no longer a narrative. It is a series of monosyllabic barriers like fine or good. This sudden minimalism is a strategic choice because every specific detail she provides is a potential landmine that could lead to a logical contradiction later. She is acutely aware that the more she speaks, the more she risks a slip of the tongue that could dismantle her carefully constructed alibi. Furthermore, pay close attention to her gaze. Eye contact is the bridge of emotional and physical intimacy, and since that bridge has been burned elsewhere, she can no longer meet your eyes with the same transparency. If you press for more information or point out a minor inconsistency in her timeline, her defense mechanism will often flip from silence to unprovoked aggression. She might accuse you of being controlling, insecure, or conducting an interrogation, using anger as a smokescreen to deflect from the fact that her stories no longer align with reality. This verbal and visual withdrawal is the final stage of emotional detachment, a clear signal that her mental and physical energy is being invested in a world where you no longer have a seat at the table. The conclusion to this physiological map is clear. A single sign might be a coincidence, but a cluster of these behaviors is a statistical confirmation of betrayal. You must stop looking at these moments as isolated events and start connecting the data points to see the complete picture. The human heart often tries to rationalize what the eyes can clearly see because facing the truth is a terrifying prospect. However, living in a beautifully crafted lie is far more destructive to your soul than the temporary pain of a harsh reality. Your intuition is not a glitch. It is a sophisticated survival mechanism designed to protect your peace. Trust your instincts over her explanations and your observations over her apologies. By recognizing these biological echoes, you are reclaiming your power and refusing to be a secondary character in your own life. Stay vigilant, keep your eyes open, and never let the warmth of old memories blind you to the cold truth of the present moment.